everybody, it's me, Tokkuri Yashi. How's everybody doing? And today we're going to be having a look at Yamato, the new limited character that we have got, the second of the Bandit Sisters to be released into the game. And it does seem like they are trying to give us 3 new characters every month. This is the second month in a row we've got a brand new character after the first one has left, which could be slightly worrying. Until they don't do it, I guess it's probably best to assume that they will be continuing to do it like this. So let's jump over to Gotcha and have a little look at that quickly. She is a dark character. Again, this is something that we was wondering what elemental typing she would be. She was, I would have thought she would have been fire, so she could have worked with Spooky. But we'll come to all of that later. As you can see, she is actually a dark. She's a physical character. Masterpieces as well. This banner is here till the 18th. I do suspect when this banner goes away, we will be getting Wakana, the last of the Bandit Sisters to be released. What element she's going to be on? Well, we're just going to have to wait and see. So, there we go. That is Yamato. We did do our summons for her yesterday. If you haven't checked it out, then please do. It was a bit of a bad time on a Tuesday night here anyway for the summoning streams. Maybe a lot of you couldn't make it to that. So, here we go. Let's have a look at Yamato then. And first, what we're going to have a look at is her stats here. As you can see, we're going to have a look here at her hit points and her defensive stats. As we can see here, they're pretty decent. Yamato is primarily attack. You see, it's very far forward. Position 150, which means on a dark team, only Kuka and Miyako sit in front of her, so she's right at the front. But with hit points at 110,000, defenses around 2,000, they're not the biggest stats for tanks. There are tanks there that have quite a lot more there for stats. I would say they look more like sub-tanky stats here, so potentially, and we're yet to see, we might have a little issue with the Yamato here. She might not be able to take the highest of pressures as a tank. So let's have a look at her skills. We'll start down here at the bottom because she is a character that relies quite heavily on her critting. And as you can see here, the EX skill, which we usually skip over because it's boring, boosts her own physical crit rates. This, I think, will be quite important for her. She does have a special skill here, and we will see why the crit rate is important. This is the very first action that she performs, only ever done once, but it will be activated in the background. It greatly boosts her physical and magical defense. There you see 388 for 180 seconds for the whole length of the battle. It gives her an initial 3 of these bandy dice, and then if she hits a crit during the battle, she will gain 1 more bandy dice. Now these bandy dice are important for one of her skills. We will come to that, and so you can see here why physical crit rate could be important for her. So let's start in with the Union Burst here, which moderately lowers all enemies' physical defense, boosts their physical crit damage taken, large physical damage. She's AoE, as we can see here, to all enemies with a range of 500. Also moderately covers her own hit points. At least 1 hit of this Union Burst will always be a crit. So guaranteed to crit. When I first saw her kit and looked into it too deep, I thought she looked very much like Christina. That's not the case, really. I thought Yamato would be a Christina. Remember why they did put her on the fire team? Because we already had that. She could have been the dark Christina, but alas, not quite there. So 162 of physical defense down for enemies hit by this, which all enemies in 500 range. Boosts all enemies' physical crit damage taken, again relying on these crits. 18 seconds. The damage there, not massive, like I say, probably not highest DPS damage, but for a tank, are we thinking that this damage is pretty decent for a tank? AoE as well, and because of our own hit points there, 21,000 odd. Let's move on then to skill 1 here, which has double instance as it seems. of physical damage to all enemies in that 500 range, so 2 instances of an AoE attack. That sounds like it could be quite good in the right circumstances. Again, lowering the physical defense of enemies hit by these attacks. It's a low number there, but if it's hit twice, so that should be doubled. And again, recovering our own hit points as a tank role, keeping herself healthy, that is a good skill to have. So let's move on here to hair, second skill here. Now this is the one where the bandy dice come into play, the ones that she's getting from critting. She greatly boosts her own physical attack and slightly boosts her own physical crit damage. It's a shame we don't have crit rate in this. The effects boosted by the number of dice that she has. If she has 8 dice, which is what the dice stack out at maximum, then it will be increased even more. And then all of the dice are removed and she has to start again by critting to get these dice back up. So these stats that we see here, I think are a little bit deceiving. I believe the 6,460 there, the 1% crit damage is if she has 1 dice. So if she has 7 dice, which is below the 8 for the extra boost, I believe this is a 17.6k, 17,600 attack boost to herself and a 7% crit damage boost to herself. If she has 8 dice, then it will be buffed to 35.5k, 35,500 attack to self. Big number there, actually, a very big number. The numbers that you would expect to see on a top support unit or a top DPS character that's boosting their own attack. Like one of these Suzuna, Summer Suzuna got that for herself on with their unique equipment too, I believe. So very big number, and it goes up from 12 seconds to 18 seconds. So it'll be a 16% physical crit damage for herself as well. And again, 18 seconds on that, which suggests there could be 2 ways you could try to build your Yamato. I mean, I forgot to do this when I summoned for her. Like an idiot, we've waited for so long to put the Yamato sword on her. It might be meta, it might not be meta for her, but she's called Yamato and I'm OCD, even though it's mass produced. Don't tell her that it's not the original. She might not know. It's a very good mass production. Anyway, this boosts her attack and it also boosts her physical crit damage. So again, playing on the crits for her. It's a shame again it doesn't do a crit rate, but you can, like I said, we can either build her trying to improve her crit rate. Now this second piece of EX equipment here does do crit rate. There is another one here that does crit rate a little bit more than the physical attack. Which one of these I'm going to give it, I don't know, because this secondary skill is probably better on this one than this one for doing damage. So you could either do that, we could build it for physical crit rate, or you could go full hit points and defense, physical defense on some of these pieces of equipment, instead playing on her strength as a tank, trying to keep her alive. So we'll have to see how she goes, whether we want to try to maximize her crit and her crit damage, or we want to just try to make her a bit more tanky as a tank. So there we go, that is the new limited Yamato kit, what she does. Now let's jump over, put her into a battle, and we will see what we think about her. I'll have a little bit of talk where we think she's going to be in the game. Okay, so let's send her into a battle whilst we have a talk about Yamato and where she sits in the game. First of all, the state of the multi-target physical dark team. We don't really have a lot of options here. We've got Shinobu, we've got Mitsuki, we've got Kaiser, and now we have got Yamato. So this on its own is not going to make a very good team. I think she should work very well with Fubuki, which is why when I saw she was dark, I was not the happiest bunny, because I wanted her to be on the fire team so she could work with Fubuki. So I'm going to build this team here. This is why I think she's going to work best on a team pair at the moment, a fire dark team, where she can run with Fubuki. We can have other multi-target DPS characters that are pretty good. And I think this is where she's going to work a lot better. So we're going to send her in here and have a look how she does. So like I've said, she was dark. When I first saw that, I thought, no, I wanted her to be fire so she could work with Fubuki. I think she works very well with Fubuki. So, are we going to see a clan battle boss this month that is multi-target and is weak to fire and dark? That would be nice. That's what I've created here. If not, where is this Yamato going to be used? If we're going to have to use it on a dark team, the dark AoE isn't great. We are still waiting for a big multi-target DPS for dark physical. If that appears, air value will probably go up quite a bit. So currently, you might end up being run on a dark physical team that's single target, meaning that she's not going to be doing a huge amount of damage, probably taking the place of either 6-star Makoto or Vikala, who have usually been put there in the tanking role. Sometimes 6-star Eriko has been in that place. Makoto, obviously, big physical defense down, nowhere near as much. Yamato does nowhere near as much as Makoto, but we will see if that is a better fit. So I think this Yamato will probably be used a lot in Deep Quest. Remember, we're getting new Deep Quest stages very soon. If not that they're already up by the time you're watching this, will probably be good for that. Less so for Clan Battle. If there is a boss that suits her, then yes, maybe she will be in Clan Battle, but that will be pretty niche. Like I said, if we can get this boss multi-target that's weak to fire and dark, perhaps they could all be run together like this. That would be a good spot for her. So we will see about that. Another point I'd like to make, we need these dice, these Bandit dice, to do more damage on her skill 2. She gets them by critting. Because she is a AoE attacker, you could crit on multiple attacks. So if you hit 3 opponents, all 3 of them crits, that's 3 dice for 1 attack there. Skill 2 is a multiple target and multiple instance. So she hits 3 enemies twice, that could be 6 crits just from, if she's lucky, from that 1 attack. So maybe building up these dice might be a little bit easier than we thought. So let's have a look at the damage report here. In this setup, she is doing, I think, decent damage here for a tank character. We didn't expect her to be doing crazy numbers, but I think she did pretty good damage here for a tank character. We will see where she is used then in the future. We will see if we get that combat boss that she does fit in with pretty well. So currently then, I would say she's not the highest priority to summon for meta-wise, but that might change over time, and undoubtedly they're going to tailor something to her in the future. So good luck to anyone that is summoning for her if you haven't done so already. Let me know what you think of this Yamato. Another limited character, the second one we're getting on. We're getting another one after this as well. I am Tokkuri Yashi then. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all again for another video. Bye 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 bye. Hey, hey.